why is it so important that NFT enthusiasts pay attention to DeFi's move?
Yeah, so I guess the reason NFT collectors should care about DeFi is like they can suddenly turn their assets into like yield generating ones. They could just do more with their asset. So, for example, you could lend your asset to someone and get paid an interest rate, or you could borrow dollars against your asset and use those dollars in some way without having to sell your asset. And you can earn yield just through like something like NFTX, where you're providing liquidity and letting other people trade with your asset. Like so, there's like the obvious like revenue generating side. I think like when you get to like in-game items and stuff. So like I've had a long time playing Steam, like throughout like my teen years, and having like the ownership of your asset is just so much more important than like having an asset that's like on some centralized database, just because you can then integrate it with things like DeFi and actually you can start doing stuff with them. So yeah, I think those kind of yield generating and utility, like expansion of utility, is like one of the key reasons why you'd want to use DeFi with your NFTs.
Okay, let's talk about founding NFTX. So you mentioned kind of being a part of DeFi Summer, getting involved in NFTs. So kind of want to also add on to this question of like what NFTs you initially got kind of involved with, but also kind of laying that origin story bare for everyone to kind of listen to.
Yeah, so I joined NFTX like a month after it launched. So the reason I joined was I minted hash masks, and at the time it was like, yeah, these are great, but I kind of wanted to do something with them just like out of curiosity, and I discovered NFTX, and basically I put my hash masks into NFTX, fractionalized them into a mask token, and then I provided liquidity to Sushi with the mask ETH pair, and then I was earning like trading fees of people that wanted to trade on Sushi to swap between mask and ETH. People that wanted to buy mask or sell mask. And what was cool at the time was like Sushi was doing on-sim rewards as well, so I think that was like 10% APR or something on getting like extra Sushi rewards from your hash mask.
So there's already a mask token at this point, though, correct? Like launched by the team.
Yeah, I forget what they have, but yeah, the NFTX mask token is like a floor token that represents the floor price of the hash mask.
Okay, we skipped a couple of steps. Like we went directly down the rabbit hole where you were supplying liquidity on Sushi Swap and all this stuff. So talk about like NFTX and what it actually does for like the end user at home from like a lending and borrowing standpoint. I know you mentioned the importance of DeFi and NFTs there, but specifically for NFTX, like what are users doing on the platform now?
Yeah, so NFTX doesn't do any borrowing and lending. It just has like, it's just basically a really low level building block for NFT DeFi. So how it works is of like a collection with say 10,000 items, maybe 1,000 of those items, 2,000 of those items are floor items. You could basically pool your floor items in the NFTX vault. Let's just say the hash mask vault, for example. You could put your floor hash mask in there, and you'll mint a hash mask token that's an ERC20 token that acts as a claim on any of the NFTs within that vault. So the idea is like all floor items are kind of treated the same, and in that way you can pool them together, and then you can create this ERC20 token off the back of it that is then usable in other protocols on Ethereum. So like ERC721s are like hard to trade and swap. You have to wait for buyers, you have to wait for sellers, whereas when you have an ERC20, you can then, so you've got this ERC20 that represents the floor, you can then put that into Sushi as liquidity, and then people have suddenly got instant liquidity for the hash mask floor. So anyone can then instantly sell their hash mask into NFTX, which routes through the Sushi pool, and then you can instantly sell, or you can instantly swap like the guys did with Bored Apes or Cool Cats, and you've also got the instant buys.
Yeah, there's a really cool conversation we're about to get into, but just touching on that process there, someone that's on that protocol, on the NFTX protocol, make sure that you understand how the swap process works, because if you pull an ape put an ape in, you're not necessarily getting the same ape out. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah. And that's something like it's really important. If you're using NFTX, it's for your floor items, not for anything higher up.